existence of Brahman, if they desire to be elevated to the higher planetary systems as Kurmis, or even if they desire to return back home, back to Godhead, they will certainly be baffled. As for Hiranyakashipu, although he was extremely inimical toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he always thought of his son, who was a great devotee. Therefore, by the grace of his son, Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu was also delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
हिरण्यकशिपुश्चापि
Hiranyakoshipuschaapi
भगवन्निन्दया तमः
bhagavanindayatamaha
विवक्षोत्पत्तिगात्सु सूनोः
vivakshurpatyagatsuno
प्रह्लादस्यानुभावतः.
prahladasyanubhavataha. The conclusion is that one should not give up pure devotional service. For one's own benefit, one should not imitate Hiranyakashipu or Shishupal. This is not the way to achieve success.
Yeah, thank you. So one prominent theme that you all heard in this purport is that although the translation says by enmity or by devotional service, by fear or affection, in any of these ways or all of these ways, if a conditioned soul can concentrate his mind on the Lord, you know, because of Lord's blissful position, Lord is never affected and the conditioned soul may also receive great benefit. Like the Bhagavatam says, but Prabhupada very strongly condemns us not to go for unfavorable devotional service. Then why is this verse saying like this? I will give you an example. Once a boy joined Pune temple, ISKCON Pune temple, and his father was living in Parmani. Parmani. He was in a government office. So as soon as he came to know that my son has become a serious devotee, he has joined full time, he heavily started criticizing ISKCON and the brahmacharis who made him brahmachari. Uh, and he started talking to the colleagues in the office and neighborhood people and everything. And he was repeatedly making phone call to his son to come back. And he told the son, if you don't come back, I will come and put you in my pocket and bring you back. Then I will come to Pune. The son was not going. So, because he was very busy in the office. But he was a man who was very meticulous in his work in the office, very famous man. He had a big circle of people, you know, for his sincerity and hard work and everything. Only thing is he developed a kind of negative attitude towards ISKCON and Krishna and all these bhaktas, devotees. He thought that all these people have tricked my son to join ISKCON, things like that. So after 2, 3 months, he told his wife that I'll personally go and bring him. So he came to Pune. So when he came to Pune, he met Revatipati Prabhu, Antaradi Prabhu, and people like that. Very nice people. Although he was raising his tone, they were very mild in behavior. And that was making it difficult for him to show his anger. Huh? You know, they treated him so warmly and gave him due respect. And they told, your son is your son. Who are we to take? If you want, you can take him home. And the son was adamant not to come. So he told the son that if you are not going to come, I am not going to leave unless I take you back. Uh, so we gave him accommodation in our this thing, in a guest house. We gave him accommodation. So then he said, I am going to see what all activities you guys are doing so that I can complain about you nicely. So he's very meticulous person, very attentively noted everything. But then seeing Radha Vrindavan Chandra taking prasad and meeting other senior citizens living there and talking to them, gradually we found that within a month or so, he was staying more than a month. huh, He became a very serious devotee. Tilak came, Kantimala came, Bedua came. huh. His wife became worried. What happened? My son joined. My husband also has joined, it seems. So then he went back to Burmani and brought his wife also. Uh, Then he took a house, he took a voluntary retirement, and he took a house right next to the campus. Now he is heading the Vanaprastha Sangha in Pune. We have 90 Vanaprasthas, and he is one of the top 3 leaders in that, who is actually, now he's initiated also. Uh, Actually, he's a very pushy person. Even for initiation, he pushed me so much. Getting an initiation from Radhanath Maharaj is not very easy. So I got a lot of push. Whether it is taking his son away or pushing for his own initiation. He's a little strong natured person, but his strong nature of opposing Krishna turned out to become an advantage for him. Because he was constantly meditating on this. He was telling so many people, Hare Krishna Vale, Hare Krishna Vale, Hare Krishna Vale. So many Hare Krishnas he chanted. By talking about Hare Krishna devotees and brahmacharis and ISKCON and Prabhupada. Um, and, his, and he said, these people have taken my son and he's just chanting and dancing. You know, this Hare Krishna chanting in the streets, what kind of thing like that. He was in the early days, he was like that. But later on, he himself is doing it now. So, there is another devotee, I mean, in Chaupadi temple, when His Grace Sankirtan Prabhu, 1990 or so, when he joined full time, his mother was warning him, see, if you join, I'll give, complaint in the newspaper and things like that. Mm. And somehow or other, he was very, very serious devotee, Sankirtan Prabhu. He joined, and the mother, through the relatives, uncle or somebody, it was given in the newspaper that ISKCON has taken my son away or whatever. Then another 10, 12 years later, she became an initiated disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. Then when she went to meet Maharaj, she offered obeisance and cried in front of Maharaj and said, Maharaj, why are you crying? You have become, your life has become auspicious now. She said, Maharaj, I have been inimical to devotees. I spoke so much ill of ISKCON and because my son was taken away. Maharaj said, no, forget about the past. Now you have become a devotee now. You have become favorable. Now you have yourself become a serious devotee. Uh, Maharaj comforted her by speaking nicely. So, in this way, somebody who is a so-called enemy of Krishna can become the best devotee also many times because of repeatedly remembering Krishna. The nature of Krishna is such, he is supremely pure. Whether a child touches fire, whether an adult touches fire, fire is fire ultimately. It has the same effect. So, to make it very easy, I'll give you examples on how whether you have a good encounter with a pure devotee or a bad encounter with a pure devotee, it's all the same. Did Jagai Madai have a good encounter or a bad encounter with Nityananda? Bad encounter. Nalakur Manigrave, bad encounter. You can see that. So there are many examples of people having a bad encounter where they actually were even trying to hurt a pure devotee. uh, Like Madai was hitting Lord Nityananda on his forehead. And Nalakur Manigiri was shamelessly standing nude with no clothes in the body. It was a very bad encounter, not a very good one. Still, the nature of a pure devotee is of compassion. Narada's eyes cannot shed anything other than compassion. And the compassion can come sometimes in the form of anger also. So why should a sadhu, saintly person become angry? That anger is another form of compassion. So he caused them to become trees, but where? Behind the Nanda Bhavan, much before Lord Krishna descended in this world. For a long time, they were standing as two trees. And then when Krishna appeared there in Nanda Bhavan and performing his childhood pastimes, so they got to see that. His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu, in his lecture, he was telling that even when Krishna would play with his friends, sometimes he would hide behind these two trees. He would touch the two trees and their hair would stand on end. Hair would stand on tree would get excited. Oh, Krishna is touching our bodies. But then one of the days in his Leela, Damodar Leela, he went between the two trees and delivered them. Because when he looked at those two trees, he didn't remember Nalakur Manigrave. He remembered Narada. Krishna said, oh, my pure devotee Narada has a desire to see these two fellows delivered. So Lord delivered. Therefore, it is always good to have an encounter with pure devotees. If somebody comes within the glance and grace of Nitai, then he definitely will be delivered. There is a song which we sing, Kripa Valakana Karo, Ami Bado Dukhi. Nitai, you are Tumi Bado Sukhi, Ami Bado Dukhi. I am very always miserable in this material existence. Please kindly put your glance on me. Like Nitai put his glance on Jagai Madai and they were delivered. Nitai put his glance on Raghunath Das and immediately he became acceptable by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. wherever Nitai's glance fell. So for us, Nitai's glance is the glance of the spiritual master. Hmm. So in this way, when uh, their merciful glance comes on us, hmm, sometimes we are remembered by a advanced devotee due to his compassion. He may ask when he goes to some place, "Oh, is that devotee there? Is he still around, or is he gone away?" you know, Uh, like His Holiness Gopaksh Maharaj, when he would come to Pune, he would ask that one of my disciples from army, is army doctor. He is still coming. He may not know the name, but he still remembers that he is army doctor. He used to come in the uniform. He became initiated. So immediately we made a phone call to him, and he came running immediately. Maharaj, did you call me? How can I serve you? Maharaj said, I didn't see you in the morning lecture. Where were you? You know, Maharaj, my car got little, traffic was very heavy. I reached a little late. So later on, that fellow said, my Lord, I cannot believe how he remembered me. I am insignificant person. I thought he may only remember brahmacharis in the temple, because he works with them closely. I am one community member in one corner, a small devotee, so small and big he remembers. So if we are favorably remembered by Guru, that's a great blessing, surely. Somebody is remembering us and praying for us and blessing us. That's how we can stay in Krishna consciousness and grow. So we have to become fortunate enough to be of some service to great souls. And then if, when they favorably look at us, then we can advance in spiritual life very fastly. But sometimes there may be a uh, unpleasant encounter with a advanced devotee, which is not a very nice thing to happen. But in case it happens also, uh, after all, the encounter is with a devotee. So because of that, because the devotee's nature is exactly similar to Krishna's nature. Krishna is Suhrit, pure devotees are also Suhrit. Both are well-wishers. So sometimes such an unpleasant encounter also may yield some great result. His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj's father, when he came to meet Srila Prabhupada, mother and father they were very upset because he comes from a very, very big family. And when Giriraj Swami saw that parents have come, his father put an empty check in front of Prabhupada and said, you fill it up. Whatever amount you want, you take it, but leave my son. So Prabhupada said, Giriraj, you can go with them. But he was not ready to go. He said, I want to stay with you. And his father was surprised. How is this my son attached to this Swami so much? Swamiji is an old man, but he's attached to him. How he has so much respect for him. What is the Swamiji doing by which he is holding the people, so many youngsters? He was thinking like that. So, uh, and then he told Swamiji, you must be very intelligent to keep all these young people. Prabhupada said, yes, I must be intelligent. Otherwise, how did I get such intelligent son of yours as my disciple? He said. Uh, and then Prabhupada said, you must be intelligent because you are father of this boy. And then Giraswami's father said, no, 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 I'm not intelligent, he said. And then Prabhupada immediately told the devotee. And then Prabhupada saw his mother was weeping. Prabhupada asked, why is she crying? Uh, and then father said, she is worried about what her son will be eating in ISKCON. Because at home she would feed him very nicely. Prabhupada is eating. That's our first class, yeah, that's our first business. We don't have any compromise on eating. He said, immediately get some rasagullas, he said. So they brought a box of rasagulla and, you know, to Prabhupada gave a couple of rasagullas to Giriraj Swami and said, eat it. And then he ate it. And Prabhupada said, this is the kind of thing our devotees eat. The devotees are, they eat very nutritious food. Then he took a couple of pieces and gave it to the mother. She wasn't ready to accept. She was taking a kerchief and wiping her tears. Prabhupada said, this contains protein, he said. Immediately she accepted, okay. Because in America, anything you give, people will see the content. What does it contain? So, yeah. So Prabhupada is intelligent. Instead of saying it is prasad, he said it is protein, because that's what will make her eat prasad. you know, isn't it? So she accepted it happily. And then she thought, oh, my son is eating quite well. She became happy after that. And then Giraswami's father told Prabhupada that I have brought my car. I'm here for a week. If you want, you can use my car for a week. He volunteered. And then while leaving, Giriraj Swami's father said, "Oh, your Swamiji is really, really smart. Huh? He's very intelligent. He captures the heart of people, huh, very nicely." So the pure devotee's behavior is so amazing. Dhira adhira jana priyau priyakarau. Huh? So they may be able to charm the heart of all types of people. Now I have been telling you examples of devotee because this is easy for us to relate. Now let us come to the examples of Krishna. When Kamsa was married to the two daughters of Jarasandha, their names were Asti and Prapti. So he so much was thinking about Krishna Balaram. One morning when he got up from the bed, Asti Prapti, the two boys were coming. Immediately shouted, "Hey, Krishna Balaram are coming," he said. He looked at them and he thought of Krishna Balaram. But they were wondering, why are you thinking we are Krishna Balaram? Because they were also two in number. Two of them came. So as soon as he saw them, got shocked like that. Uh, Wherever he turned around, he put his eyes, he saw Krishna's form. So he developed a bhaya after hearing the uh, message from the sky, Akashvani, that the eighth son of Devaki will be the cause of his death. So he wanted to, because of his bodily consciousness, he wanted to save himself from death. And he knew who is going to be the killer. So he wanted to save himself due to that bhaya. So his main thing was bhaya for Krishna. Because that he was constantly thinking. In Bhagavatam, there is an example given. A fly keeps a caterpillar kind of thing into a mud hole. It puts inside and goes away. And time to time comes and stings and goes. So whenever the fly would come to sting it, the caterpillar would be trembling. After that, it sting and go. So when the fly is away, the caterpillar would be thinking of the fly, remembering, "Oh, when is this fellow going to come again? When will he come and sting me?" So he has some fear, he's remembering that. But then thinking of that fly repeatedly, the caterpillar develops wings also. That's the example given in Bhagavatam. Similarly, if somebody even unfavorably thinks of Krishna, like Kamsa was thinking, out of fear, uh, because of constant remembrance of Krishna, whose body is Sachidananda Swarupam. It's a pure transcendental body. And in this way, one also develops transcendental body uh, by that. Uh, for example, you will see that somebody has one favorite cinema hero. uh, you will see that. Like in our IIT days, there was one boy who was considering Amitabh as his greatest hero. So he would keep hair like him. He would put hair like this. He would walk like him. Even his Hindi, the way he would speak Hindi, it was exactly like the tone in which he would speak stylishly, the way he would look at other boys. So many people thought he's like younger brother of Amitabh. They thought like that. But he was actually imitating, copying. This kind of thing people do when you are attached to somebody, you may also do those things similar to them. You imitate. Gopis also imitated Krishna, correct? No? When Uddhava was giving class, suddenly gopis got up. And to great amazement of Uddhava, one gopi took the end of her sari and told, "Hey, all of you Jivas, come and take shelter of this Govardhan. I will give you protection from Indra's heavy rains." Another gopi climbed on the shoulder of another gopi and said, "Hey, Kaliya, today I will not leave you. I will subdue you today." And Uddhava was amazed. He said, "These gopis' love for Krishna has exceeded a certain limit. The Divyon the transcendental madness has gone to such a degree that when I am speaking the Leela, they are demonstrating the Leela." So that is the stage of affection. It all begins with attraction, attention, attachment, absorption, affection. In the stage of attraction, you may have distraction also. Distraction means alternative attraction. So you are attracted to Krishna a little bit attracted to Maya also, both. Sometimes here, sometimes there, like that we do. But then the attraction for Krishna, when it becomes attention, then you start paying attention, and the attention has to become continued attention. If it is continued for a prolonged period of time, that turns into attachment. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate. Whether it is material or spiritual, Continued attention leads to attachment. Prolonged exposure leads to impressions. Prolonged exposure causes sanskaras. That's the reason why parents should bring their children to the temple. Prolonged exposure to the deities. Prabhupada says, when I was a small boy, I was standing in front of Radha Govindji and watching how the arati was performed. One by one item, how the pujari takes item by item. Then he worships the Lord. Then a child develops a desire. I also want to worship like that, isn't it? Uh, Oh, this devotee. I have seen many small boys coming and sitting and watching how the senior devotee is playing mridanga. He'll be watching. He'll be doing hand also like this. And he'll be doing like this. After some time, I saw when the boy grew up, 2 years later, I saw he's sitting with mridanga. Because now he has learned now, practiced. That means prior to becoming an expert, you need aspiration. Their aspiration. So how do the spiritual aspirations develop? By spiritual exposure. When there is a continued exposure, prolonged exposure, it leads to sanskaras, impressions in the mind. And same is true for Maya also. When you give prolonged exposure to social media, prolonged exposure to dirty things, then those impressions also are formed in the mind. And they are very difficult to erase. They take time. Just like sometimes ink. If you keep an ink pen and it makes a dirty thing in the shirt, later on, even with soap, it doesn't go away. Similarly, some sanskaras are so dirty, they don't go away very easily. They take pretty long time. Or you have to get some vanish or something and put it, to remove it. So, uh, prolonged exposure leads to mm, uh, attachment. And that attachment, if it continues for a while, it produces absorption. Absorption means you become oblivious to the external world. That's the meaning of absorption. You just don't know that other things are also existing around you. You just don't see other things. You know, just like that in the Srirangam, there was Dhanurdas was watching at that lady and fanning her with umbrella. He had that absorption in material enjoyment. So he became oblivious to the spiritual opportunity available around. Similarly, if somebody becomes absorbed in Krishna, then the external world stops to exist. Like in computer, we do know bring to front, send to back. So you send material world to back, bring Krishna to front. So Krishna becomes everything for the devotee. Like Akrura, he is the minister of Krishna, I mean, sorry, minister of Kamsa, going to get Krishna. But on the way, the Akrur Manorath verses when you read, Mamai Taddurlabham Manye Uttama Shloka Darshanam, he's telling, oh, I'm so blessed, so fortunate. He says that today I'm going to take darshan of Lord Krishna. Kim taptam paramam tapaha. What tapasya have I done? What punya have I done? That today I'm going to see Krishna eye to eye. So you are where your mind is. So Akrura was working in Kamsa's palace as a minister, but his body was physically present there, but his heart was in Krishna's lotus feet. That is the most amazing thing. So he is going to Vrindavan on the way, continuously meditating on Krishna. He says, when I reach Vrindavan, Krishna Balram will be milking the cows. Krishna will be wearing a golden dhoti and Balram will be wearing a blue dhoti. When they would see me, they'll call me Uncle Akrura, Uncle Akrura. They will come to meet me. I'll bow down at their feet, and when Krishna would embrace me, all my sinful reactions will be finished. And will Krishna recognize me or reject me? I don't know, because I am working under Kamsa. What if Krishna rejects me? And then he said to himself, no, 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 he will not reject me. He is all-knowing. He is Sarvajna. He knows my heart. I am externally having a designation in Kamsa's palace as a minister, but my heart I have already given to Krishna already. So like that he was thinking, constantly, you know, see, we also think like this in our mind. I applied for the interview, the company, will they call me for the interview or not? Okay, I have attended the interview, will they select me or not? Everybody is thinking about likes and dislikes and plus and minus. But people think in relation to matter. But one should think in relation to Krishna. Sakurara was thinking in relation to Krishna, so he already had possessed Krishna in his heart. So as soon as he reached Vrindavan, he got off his chariot and rolled on the dust of Braj with tears in his eyes. It's a very, very appropriate consciousness for one to enter Vrindavan. So, hitva, dambham, bhiyam, shucham, it is said. He gave up his pride as a minister uh, in the court. He gave up his fear that Kamsa may punish him or his family members. He gave up the fear. He gave up all lamentation. uh, Everything he gave up, and he was fully available uh, to give himself to Krishna. That is Akrura's Manorath, full absorption. So in this way, attraction, attention, attachment, absorption. And after absorption comes affection. Affection means pagal, mad. Huh? One is so mad that one doesn't know what is happening in the outside world. So Divyonmad, Divya Unmad means transcendental madness. So in this world, materialists are also mad, devotees are also mad. So they both are mad in their own way. Devotees are mad for Krishna, materialists are mad after Maya. Once His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj was giving a class in Chopari temple, Bhagavatam class. He said, the goal of human form of life is to become mad, he said. Everybody was looking at each other. We have come here to become mad? But mad after whom? He said, mad after Madan Mohan, he said. So I was wondering, who is Madan Mohan? Then you understood, Madan Mohan. Actually, the Sanskrit word mada, from that comes mad. So Madan means one who makes you mad after him. Manohar, one who is attracting your mind. He is Madan. So he is Madan Mohan. Radhika Manohara Madana Gopala Bhakta Vatsala Nanda Gopala Gopala Radhika Manohara Madana Gopala Bhakta Vatsala Nanda Gopal. See, Radhika Manohara. He attracts the heart of Srimati Radharani. And his name is Madan Gopal. So, Madan means a supreme attractor of everyone and everything, including Srimati Radharani, the supreme devotee. So, if one is attracted to him, then one Harirasa Madira Madati Matta. There is one verse in Padyavali. Harirasa Madira. What is saying? Madira means what? Liquor. But it's not ordinary liquor. What liquor? Hari Rasa Madira. If somebody has got the Hari Rasa liquor, if somebody is drunken in that, Madati Matta, he becomes completely mad. Like that Rupa Goswami says. That's what Advaita Acharya Prabhu told Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was complaining to Advaita Acharya that I made a mistake of becoming a preaching partner with Nityananda Prabhu. Because he runs very fast, I can't run like him. Today we were chased by Jagai and Madai. And somehow our lives were saved. But because I went as a preaching partner with Nityananda, you know, today I got into this trouble. Advaita Acharya laughed. He said, that is why you should not associate with drunkards, he said. Jagai Madai are drunkards and Nityananda is another drunkard, he said. But what is the drunkard difference? They are drunken in liquor, he is drunken in holy name. Isn't it? So, in this way, he was joking. So, and Prabhupada gave this example. If you associate with drunkards, you will also become a drunkard, he said. That's the easy way to become a drunkard, he said. Similarly, those who are devotees of the Lord, who are always remembering Krishna, serving Krishna, keeping Krishna at the center of their lives, revolving, rotating around Krishna. So those devotees we associate with, then we also develop that Harirasa Madira Madati Matta. Then the affection can be awakened. So the constant remembrance of Krishna is purifying, whether it is Anukul or Pratikul. That is the point. In many places in Bhagavatam it is said, Gopyak kamat bhayat kamso snehat dveshat deyan ripa sambandhat prishnayah snehat yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. Like that, Narada is telling to Yudhishthir. He is telling that, the gopis had intense love for Krishna. See, there is a clear difference between Gopi's love for Krishna and Kubja's love for Krishna. Kubja's love is called Kama Praya. Gopi's love is called Kama. The Kama means intense love. See, Kama and Prem both have same intensity. You know, the lust is downward vector, love is upward vector. In order for us to understand the intensity of pure love, sometimes the word Kama is directly used. And it is not wrong to use Kama even in the spiritual sense because Krishna is called as the original Kamadev. Why is Krishna called original Kamadev? There's a difference between Krishna being Kamadev and the material world Kamadev. Material world Kamadev creates attraction only between same species of life but opposite sexes. Between dog and she dog, pig and she pig, male and female like that. Whereas original Kamadev Krishna attracts everybody. What is that famous verse? Yasyananam makara kundala charu karna brajat kapola vilasa suvilasa hasam nityotsavam tatrapur drishbhi pibantyo naryo narascha mudita kupita nimescha. See, the last line says, naryo narascha, he says. Not only naris are attracted to Krishna, naras are also attracted. Not only naras, even the peacocks, deers, cows, calves, trees, birds, Yamuna. So this is the original Kamadev. He attracts everybody, whereas the material Kamadev can create only attraction between opposite sexes. Yeah. That's one main difference. Krishna is Asli Kamadev. Material Kamadev is Nakli Kamadev. Yeah. And the attraction created by the Nakli Kamadev of this world is temporary, short-lived. Whereas the attraction that the Jiva awakens for Krishna is eternal, everlasting relationship it is. And the attraction that pure devotees feel for Krishna is worshipped, glorified, and kept in the highest pedestal. Like Jayadeva Goswami's attraction and writing Gita Govinda, or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's attraction running behind the sand dune, considering it to be Govardhan. We worship it. Whereas the attraction created by material Kamadev is despicable, condemnable, punishable also many times. You can see that. The lusty activities of the conditioned soul are never glorified. Like you see Ravana's foolish, lusty activities. Whereas anyone who becomes mad after Krishna, that transcendental madness is worshipable. Isn't it? Like Gopis, Divyan Mad is glorified by all acharyas. There is even Shankaracharya's one prayer called as Gopi Jana Vallabhashtakam. In that two paragraphs are devoted to Gopis, the 8 stanzas, you will see that. Similarly, all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified it so much also. So, in this way, of course, why did I get into that subject of Kamadev? Because Gopya Kamad. And then Bhayat, Gopi's love is pure, whereas Kubja's love was tinged with lust. She looked at Krishna's beauty. When she became very beautiful, she became lusty and she wanted to enjoy with Krishna the way in the material world boy and girl will enjoy. So that is purpose is that kind of lusty look towards Krishna is in exploitative mode. This is not the way a devotee is supposed to see Krishna. A devotee should, if you read in the Padyavali, there is one verse which says, in the highest platform, how the gopis, what all sevas they are engaging in. It's mentioned. I don't have my computer here with me. In that it is mentioned, there is lot of talks amongst the gopis in relation to the divine couple. And they are also doing services like making that, garland, playing mridanga, doing kirtan, cooking and offering to a lot of different things. And uniting the divine couple, Radha and Krishna together and talking. So they derive more delight in waiting to see Krishna come back and talking about Krishna in his absence. These things give a lot of thrill rather than saying that now we have met Krishna, that's all, now you relax, that's all. It's not like that. That's why the transcendental dalliance is not an ordinary subject. The more one becomes purified. That's why the Goswamis have given so much homework to us, so we can do the 64 items and gradually grow in that. Isn't it? So now, when Kubja had that mentality, Krishna was not, on one hand, he wasn't very happy to stay. So when he went with Uddhava to her place, She picked up Krishna's lotus feet and kept on her chest. Immediately, her lust in her heart became nullified because of the purity of Krishna's lotus feet. And she told Krishna to stay for a few more days. Krishna said, no, I'm leaving immediately. Because Prabhupada says, Kubja represents material energy. And Krishna doesn't come to material world for a long time. Because the material world is a place of exploitation. Jivas look at him with exploitative eye. So Krishna says, I better go back to Goloka, where devotees see him with eyes of love. That's why if we have to truly serve Krishna, we have to see with eyes of true intense love to serve him in a mood of seva, mm, not in a mood of exploitation. So, but the nature of lust is that you give me enjoyment. That is lust. Mm. And love means, I am your sold out servant. I am here to serve you. So, Gopya Kamat, Bhayat, Kamso, Dveshat, Chedya. That is our Shishupal, about whom is explained here. Sambandhat Vishnayaha. All the Vishnus had Sambandha, bodily relation with Krishna as the family member. And Snehat, Yuyam Bhaktya Vayam Vibho. Now Pandavas had devotion for Krishna. And Narada says, we are all devotees of Krishna, like that he says. So we have to have some sambandha with Krishna for us to go back to Krishna. But people like Venam, Katamopena Vena Syat Panchanam Purusham Prati. That verse says, Vena was an atrocious man like Kamsa, but Kamsa got the benefit which Vena did not get. The reason is, he was not Krishna centered. He was only I centered, Vena. Whereas Kamsa was Krishna centered. So that is why, because this Narada Muni says, the demons think of Krishna so much, even we devotees go to sleep, or we become lazy, we become attracted to many things, but the demons very intensely think of the Lord, like that we should think. Narada is saying that, just for the sake of Atishayokti. The intention is not to say that demons are better than devotees. Devotees have Anukul bhavana towards the Lord. That is glorified. Not the pratikul bhavana of Kamsa or anybody else like that. In fact, inimical attitude towards the great Lord is a very great curse. It's very dangerous. Tanaham dashita kururan and all, yes. Prabhupada quotes that 2 times he's quoted that in the purport. One should not unfavorably think of the Lord. Chandar and Mushtik, when they punched Krishna, Krishna laughed and laughed and laughed and enjoyed. But that is not counted as devotional service because their intention was to kill Krishna. On the other hand, Yashoda made Krishna cry by going away to kitchen. But her seva to Krishna is considered as Shuddha Bhakti because her heart is always having an intention to see Krishna happy. So we have to carry that intent in our heart. How can I make Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas happy? How can I please them? So that is a kind of Anukul Bhakti. And Pratikul Bhakti towards Krishna, to damage Krishna or kill Krishna, that kind of idea is inimical. One last thing I want to say and conclude. There are 4 types of impersonalists. One type of impersonalists, like Bilomangal or Chatush Kumaras and all, they became devotees by coming in contact with the Lord or the devotee, correct? No? One type of impersonalist. Then there is a second type of impersonalist who Prabhupada says that they are actually Brahmavadis, but they are not inimical to the Lord. They are respectful to Lord. So, Jara Marana Mokshaya Mamam Mamashritya Yatantiye Te Brahma Viduk Kritsnam Adhyatman Chakilam. Like that, there is a verse. In that, Prabhupada says that Jara Marana Mokshaya, to get moksha from the old age and death and all, from the birth and death, they pray to Krishna that, oh Lord, you are the ultimate. Please give me moksha, grant me moksha. Because they know Krishna, they know Brahman, but they are not attracted to Krishna. They want to get liberated and relaxed, that's all. But whose shelter do they take? Krishna. So they are good impersonalists. So the first 2 impersonalists are good fellows, these 2 people. One becomes a personalist, one gets moksha through Krishna, blessing of Krishna. But the other 2 fellows are condemnable. And out of the one of them, Arukhya Kritrena Param Padam Tataha Patanti Adu. That means he doesn't depend on Krishna. He ignores Krishna and thinks, by my own strength I will get moksha, he thinks. So he falls down. That is one type. And the 4th type criticizes Krishna's body to be material. Avajananti mam mudha. So they go to hell. They don't go to Brahman. They are the ones, ye asambhuti mupase tato bhuya. He says, tato bhuya bhatetamo. That verse says in the Ishopanishad that these fellows go to hell, those who criticize Krishna's body to be material. That's the fourth category. So the third and fourth category are condemnable. Avajanati Mamuda category and Aruha Krichana Parampadam Tataha. But the first two impersonalists are glorified. So therefore, even amongst impersonalists, we should know who is favorable and who is not. We can know that. So in this way, uh, from this purport, we can understand, although the verse says that favorably, unfavorably, somehow you have some encounter with Krishna. Uh, that encounter is going to ultimately bring you to Him. Hmm. Similarly, some people have an unpleasant encounter with ISKCON sometimes. When they meet one devotee and then the devotee was a little immature, then they say, oh, ISKCON is bad. They say like that. But at least they had some encounter. Someday they will again get a good encounter and they'll become devotees. Because once some connection is established in relation to Krishna, it's only a matter of time we will be again drawn back to his lotus feet. Hmm? Srila Prabhupada ki. So it's 9 o'clock now. Can I take 2, 3 minutes questions and can I end? Is it all right, Prabhu? Yeah. Anybody want to comment? Yesterday I said, you want the mic? Give the mic to me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for a very nice class. I just want to be clear with this situation. That Krishna is not affected by glorify or prayers
Correct.
or blasphemy.
Yeah.
And we can.
Why Krishna is not affected by glorification or insult? Like I know one child specialist doctor, whenever mother takes a child, many children kick him or they slap him also. He just laughs and gives them injection. So I asked the doctor, you don't feel bad when children slap you a bit? He said, I am very experienced in this, he says. Because these kids will do that. Because I am a child specialist. So similarly, Krishna is a Jiva specialist. He knows how the Jivas will deal with him. He knows very well. He knows these are my kids only. They are kicking me, no problem. He is not insulted by that.
Also, we see that in ISKCON or any situation of devotional life, we are always glorifying. As much we can glorify, we can be approached to Krishna.
No,
Also,
we should glorify him. Not that he is going to be pleased by our glorification. We glorify him for our benefit.
okay,
Yeah, because if we don't glorify, we don't grow.
okay,
Correct, no?
yeah.
Like if you give a glass of water to Ganga, is Ganga going to benefit? No, but still we give. We take from Ganga only and we give to Ganga. We say, no, tera tujhko, arpan kya lage mera, we say, no? We take it and give it. Like a child may take out some money from father's pocket and go to the market and buy a cake and give it to father. Says, Papa, today is your birthday. I want to give you. Papa doesn't say, hey, you took my money and you're giving me cake. He doesn't say that. He sees the love he sees. So we should do our part. For our own advancement, we should do that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gaurav, you want to say something, Gaurav Darshan? Anybody else? Any other devotee? Any other thing else? There is one hand up way behind. Give it, Prabhuji, behind. Our Devarshi Narad Prabhu behind. Yes, Prabhu, please.
I just like your point you told that Nityananda mad and Jagai Madai also mad.
Yeah.
And he stalked by some devotees and they said, don't go, there is some people, they are mad. So he said that I will make them mad for that. And also said, don't see them. If we see them, then we go Ganga Snan. He said, I will make them such pure that by seeing Ganga Snan no needed.
My Lord. Who, our Nitan who said that, huh?
Yes.
My Lord. Amazing. Very amazing. In fact, people, instead of taking Ganga Snan, they will want to become their followers. I heard that Jagamadai became great acharyas later on. We once, in our travel to Mayapur, we went to their matha also, we went. Yeah. Some devotees are looking at each other, hey, this is Madhavananda's matha, huh? Or Jagadananda's matha. So we still remember the old impressions, huh? But they became pure devotees. Yeah. Thank you for that. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.